All right, so we are back in 1951 during the Stalin period.
Yeah,
How
we
old
had the
you were?
Soviet championship, well,
Yes.
very, very strong, of course, in that time. And the future world champion Petrosian plays with white against Taimanov, who was also a super grandmaster. The game will be most interesting, you'll see, and theoretically also very important. And finally, the way he realized the small advantage in endgame is very instructive. So, of course, to try to explain a little bit from the opening, e3, Petrosian played against the Queen's Indian. This idea with e3, which was considered, quiet enough. I mean, nothing very sharp or so. Later on, he introduced in big tournaments his idea with a3, which was played also by Kasparov, Karpov, Portish, myself, and so on. No, a lot of very strong grandmasters. The idea was a3 was considered in that time novelty, and it was played successfully by very strong grandmasters, I told you. But we didn't arrive yet in this time, and he played the normal line with g3. The alternative was to play g3, bishop g2, this the other line. All right, so bishop d3, and now move order, knight e4. He has to play quickly knight e4, because if castle, he doesn't have time to arrive in e4 because he's controlled twice,
Mm-hmm.
You can't play like this, if you don't play immediately, you see.
It'll be two pieces.
Yeah, so he played there. So queen c2, okay. f5, well, this is the idea. For the moment, the knight is strong in e4. If not, later on, he tries to trade some pieces and have some good play on the big diagonal, the bishop from b7. He controls the diagonal. All right. So as usual, Petrosian plays quietly castle, of course. Now you have to take a decision. You take or you don't take. If you don't take, white wants to take the pawn from e4. So you have to take. Now, so if you want something, you take with the knight. The idea is, if now you trade in d2, it's clearly better for white because white has pair of bishops.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Two bishops and better position. So okay. So what did he play here? Queen h4, of course. Tactical play. Now, after queen h4, now if you take in e4, you have very little, maybe nothing for white, you see.
If you take like this?
Yeah, it's good to take also with the pawn, but with the bishop is alright. Is okay. And now if you take there, you don't have anything with white here, because with the black bishop, you can't demonstrate that white is better. I mean, he can take even with the pawn. And then he plays always on the white squares, and if he has time to castle and knight c6, black is excellent, excellent position for black, you see. Better for black. So, right, what to do? f3, I mean, at least you play with the two bishops. Okay, he took. Now, okay, castle. A little bit better for white, but only on the queen side, because in the center you don't have anything. On the king side, you don't open yourself, because the bishop from b7 controls the big diagonal, so it's okay. Or b4. So you play a little bit on the queen side. Okay, knight c6, c5, all right. White is slightly better on the queen side, and black has to try to have some counterplay on the other side, coming with the knight to do something on the other side, later on, yes. a6, first of all, no? But now he has a small weakness, you see. b6 and c7, a little bit weak. Not too much, but a little bit. For Petrosian, we'll see it's almost enough.
Yeah, a little bit.
We'll see, yeah. So knight d7, very difficult to understand where is the advantage. It's a small advantage, a little bit. In every position, queen f2, okay. If you take in f2, better endgame for white, you see, again. So,
because of the two bishops?
Yeah, of course. Very unpleasant. White plays alone afterwards, I mean, he goes back, he puts the rooks on the c2 and c1, has control on the c file, and two bishops. No counterplay at all for black. You see, that is the idea. So, right, you have to keep the queen, of course, on board. Queen h5. All right. So, bishop h2. We retreat a little bit, but at least black has counterplay. It's not easy to do something. So rook f6, okay. Rook f6, a4. It seems that he's coming, but the idea is to provoke. I mean, black has now the impression that black is better, has some good chances on the other side. He tries to come with the pieces. But we'll see, because of this idea with knight g6, I mean, first of all, he played rook f6 and then knight g6. If he had to play like this, it's not good, because for the moment, the rook from f6 is doing nothing, you see.
Yeah.
And therefore, white comes, meantime, on the other side,
Was better the rook to be here.
Maybe, I mean, at least you have to do something, g3 or h3, and then it's tactical play,
Yeah.
But white has no problem at all. White is still better in any position, but, it's not so clear. But after knight g6, now it's clear that white is, again, slightly better, and he tries to demonstrate how, you see. What is... Okay, knight h8 is very interesting, because he tries to come immediately, h8, f7, g5. Mm-hmm. If he has time to do this, is excellent for black, But of course, he has no time, Okay, bishop e2, knight f7. And here, he played in the right time, the right moment, he played f4. Doesn't let you to come to g5. He attacks the queen, but in meantime, he opens the big diagonal, Black can hope that the game is more or less even because of this, The big diagonal is okay for black,
Yes.
So, all right. Has to move the queen now. Rook f1. For the moment, he could demonstrate that black has very little, if nothing, on the other side, and he prepares counterplay on the queen side, where he's clearly better with white.
But doesn't put the bishop here to change the bishop.
No. If he changes the bishop, he has nothing. Yeah. Okay, rook c1. So now what to do with black? Bishop e4, the most normal move, you see, very active. Okay, so he took, and now, look what a tactical blow. Now everything is first. We trade some pieces. He agrees to play a position with different color bishops, but with pawn up. He has a pawn. This is possible because, you see, the position is very unclear on the other side. The knight from f7, has a good position if you look like this, but you have time to give a check in c8 with tempo, and therefore you recapture the piece, and we arrive in an endgame or a middle game, always clearly better for white. But okay, far from winning, you see. Yeah. Okay, so everything is forced. Knight d8, okay, takes, rook d8. Forced, everything. Takes. All right. The first phase is all right. White won a pawn. And now he tries to demonstrate why he's better. I mean,
wasn't better.
Well, he took the pawn, I think, in d7.
No, he took
the rook. Okay. As I told you before, Petrosian was a super grandmaster, and he played always safe. Here, if he takes in d7, at least black has some tactical counterplay by playing himself rook c8, and he can hope, you see. I mean, he prefers a small advantage, but he plays alone. I mean, he has no problem. Sure.
One direction.
And technique, tactical, no tactical tricks. And white has always the initiative, pawn up and very unpleasant position for black and so on. So, okay.
So no risk, no counterplay.
No counterplay at all for black here. So, okay, he took. And now we try to demonstrate why he plays for a win in a very, quiet position. I mean, black has no counterplay at all here, All right, rook a8, okay, a5. All right, now you have to take, because if you don't take, a6 is even worse, of course,
Pass pawn.
So, okay, now we have the result. Pass pawn, better endgame, winning endgame probably, but very difficult to win, You see, you have to show a very, very, an excellent technique to try to win this. Of course, he'll show it. All right, now queen e8. It's clear that black has to defend, and he can hope maybe for draw, somehow, we'll see. Playing always on white, you see. Even if the white pawn comes until a7, you still can hope, to make a draw because you control the big diagonal like this, you see. So therefore, it's very difficult to win. So from here, white tries to win a much better position, but this better position is not yet won completely, you see. So you have to demonstrate how. All right, so, king g8, everything. Now, from this moment, he plays always on white, Taimanov. Taimanov also, very strong grandmaster. Of course, he knew how to defend. So king g8. But, okay, he gives back the pawn, you see.
Yeah.
Because the pawn is not important. Important is the initiative. It's very important to arrive with the bishop from d2, which was doing very little, to arrive in d4, where he controls everything, you see.
Here.
Yeah.
To control this.
Course. Yeah. Okay, so now you have to take only with the bishop.
But wasn't better this way? No.
Okay, he could play, of course, bishop b4 and c5. But the difference is that from d4 you can't attack the bishop. This is the problem, you see.
You can attack.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give you any small chance, nothing, you see. He wants to play himself and the other to be a spectator, like this all the time. All the very strong grandmasters, prefer such a position. But Petrosian was the model for everybody, I mean, he played like this, his style, you see. Okay, so d5. So from now on is a real demonstration, we'll see. So, okay, bishop c3. What to do? Bishop, queen c8, normal, the best move. Now. So, queen d3. He gives you the possibility to trade queens. Huh? What did he play? Queen c4, no? Or what? Queen c5. Queen c5. First of all, he wants you to attack the queen. Now he goes to c4, I think, no?
Yes.
Queen c4. Okay, now he can trade queens, at least. If he trades queens, he has a good hope to make draw, But no counterplay at all, again, you see. So, of course, Petrosian took the in c4, he took and a7. Now we have the result. The pawns are even, but we have the pawn from a7, which is very, very, very strong. Every endgame is winning, but we have to realize, very difficult to realize because black controls still the big diagonal from d5, So, okay, now he goes to d6, he hopes to take some squares, to have time to come with the king to e7 later on. Yeah. So d6, all right, bishop b4, he attacks immediately the pawn. So, right, black gave the pawn to have a small chance to arrive with the king on the white squares, you see, this is the problem. The pawn is not important, the pawn from d7 is doing nothing anyway,
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, he tries to arrive with the king to hope for a draw. Yeah. So rook c8, okay. Finally, he could move the rook, but it's too late, So now, bishop c5, he gives no chance at all again,
To keep the rook down.
Yes,
there.
of course, rook c5. Now, okay, finally he could come with the king. King f2. Black plays on white squares, white plays on black squares, you see? Always. The king will arrive in d4 finally. h6, the normal line. King d3, g5. Again, the best way to do it is to have this small hope on the king's side. If he has time to play g4, you see, it seems that he could, close the position forever and play only against a small weakness, which maybe is not enough, This is the black's hope, in this kind of position. All right, and we arrive until here. King d4. Good. g4. How to win this? Maximum position for white. Bishop, rook b8, of course. And h5. Oh, okay. Everybody did the right thing, here. White has a maximum position. The pawn is in a7, fantastic, but he can't queen. For the moment, it's impossible to queen. If he trades rook here, it's draw in this position. I mean, if he takes in c8, takes, and it's enough to make a draw. If black arrives with the king in b7, you can sign, draw, So what to do? The only way to do it is to come with the white king to attack the h5 pawn. You know?
This pawn from here.
Well, that's the only way to do it. You know, yeah. So black has to wait. Okay, king e5. Has to wait. No, nothing to do. Now, king g5. Okay, he has time to take the pawn from h5. Now the position is different. Now, because we arrive in some kind of Zugzwang all the time, you see. But also very difficult to demonstrate, to show it how and when. Okay. Again, the king, excellent king, moving all over the board, you know, like this. And
very slowly but
surely, you know. So, rook c8. You have to wait with black, you know. So, what to do? And here, okay. With the bishop in e5, this move is possible, of course. If you don't have rook c8, you resign with black, you know. The only move, you know, rook c8 or rook d8. Okay, he moved back now. Okay. Yeah. And now, rook b6, Zugzwang. What to do? Bishop c6, the only move. Because the threat, I mean, if you let him to do it, is rook d6 check, almost mate, you know.
Yes.
So you have to move something because otherwise you lose materially if not mate, you know. Yeah. So, okay, bishop c6 the only move. Okay, bishop b8. Now we threaten to take in c6 and queen, you know. Now yes. Again, you have to move the bishop.
He resigned here.
He resigned. Zugzwang, you see. What do you think? What kind of technique? No?
Yeah, like
it seems very simple.
Like a big snake,
but it's like a torture. Yeah. No, it's yeah. Torture for his opponent is a torture. No, he's playing alone all the time.
Yeah.
But this is, you know, very high technique. You know, excellent player. You know, super grandmaster like this.
So that was his style, always.
This, yeah. Otherwise, it's like an anecdote, but I told you before when we spoke a little bit before our demonstration, we played many times, myself with Petrosian, and it happened always the same. When the position was very complicated, he found a way to simplify the position, to trade some pieces and make draw, I mean, he was preferring this instead of having a good chance in tactical play. Because in tactical play it was much too complicated. He didn't like it,
He didn't like the risk.
Well, if he was completely forced to play like this, he was excellent also in tactical play. Mm-hmm. But he didn't like too much. I mean, if he could play like this, he was playing always like this. If he was forced, like in, I don't know, World Championship or something, then he had to do it, And finally, he won also some very important and very beautiful games, tactically,
But his favorite was
his favorite play was like this, a small chance for him, nothing for his opponents, Then he was very happy, Well, every strong grandmaster would prefer to have a position like this, of course. Everybody would be very happy to play a game like this where your opponent doesn't play, But for Petrosian was always
trademark.
Like well, trademark, always.
Nice.
He was very happy, yeah. But he was very strong. What can you do? I mean, super grandmaster, of course. And he won the World Championship against Bodwinik like this. I mean,
also this style.
In this style. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gheorghiu.
You're welcome.